Hello, welcome to Wednesday's webinar, small business webinar here at InfoServe. Thank you for joining. We're starting imminently, and we've got a social media session planned for you today. So we're just waiting on a few more people to join. And today we're talking about Instagram and how you can get more engagement and more interaction on Instagram, and the things that you can set up on Instagram. We're going to give you a few cool, neat tips and tricks on Instagram. So just waiting on a few more people to join. I see Josh has entered the room. Can't hear you, Josh. Sorry, Josh. Can't hear you. Apologies. Sometimes he has to refresh. He'll come back in. Hi, Gary. Hi, Fleur. Hi, Alison. Andrew, hello. Bernie, Paul. Good to see everyone. Peter from Middlewood Farm Holiday Park at Whitby. Lovely area of the UK, Peter. I'm from a place near Yarm, which is nearby, not too far away from Whitby. You may know that. I've been to Whitby a lot of times. My family is from that area as well. So good to see you, Peter. Alison, Anne, hello. Gary, hello. Welcome. We're starting imminently. Josh, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
There he is. Josh, our trusty sidekick, is right here. And we've also got a special guest today, Mr. Social Media, Mr. Instagram himself, and Mr. Facebook. His name is Sam King. Sam King, hello, welcome. Hello, welcome, Sam.
He is here somewhere.
He's
Hi, hello, sorry.
Hello.
Hi, Sam. Good to see you.
It's very dark today, isn't it?
Yeah. Sam, today, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're looking at Instagram and the things that you can do on Instagram, some cool tricks and tips that you're going to show these lovely small business owners, and you're going to show them how you can maybe also get some more engagement from Instagram, right?
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. So you've got some good tips coming along, and we're almost ready. I think most people are almost here now. So, Hi, Rebecca. Good afternoon. How's the weather in your area? A little bit overcast here, a little bit grey. But we're all doing well, and business is continuing as normal. And here we are again for the daily webinar. And I think we're all set, ready to go. Sam, are you ready to go?
I am just about, yeah.
Josh?
Yep, I'm all good.
Well, before we do, I just want to let the audience know what we're going to be doing soon. Hopefully this week, maybe Josh can confirm. We're going to allow small business owners into the video, into the chat, and actually be on screen and actually talk to us and ask us questions, right, Josh?
Yes, so we're wanting to do a live Q&A. We've done it in the chat before, but it is very hard to respond to everyone's comments at the same time and have everyone look at the answers as well without replying in private to that specific comment. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little live session with you guys. Now, it's really easy to do. There is a request to speak button. You should all see it. I haven't disabled it for this one just to show you what it looks like. But you click that button and then we'll let you join in. If you have your webcam on and you've got your audio on and you want to join and ask a question, then we're going to be doing that later on in the week.
Yeah, we'll show you all how to do it in the session itself, and you can come in and speak, and we'll go through it. Hey, Phil, you've asked a really good question. The video's at 11 a.m. getting mixed up with 2 p.m. No, it won't be getting mixed up. The YouTube ones are just going to be the ones you see here, 2 p.m. every day. YouTube playlist is still going to be the same. Everything's the same, 2 p.m. every day. We're helping small business owners across the UK, and everything continues as normal. What we're doing as a company is we just today launched an 11 a.m. webinar for our own customers. So those are customers that already may have a website with us, for example, and we're going to show them how to use the website editor and et cetera. So it really is more kind of hands-on with the products that they've got with us. But this webinar is for all small business owners, and 2 p.m. everything continues as normal. I mean, feel free to jump into the 11 a.m. one if you want to be in there with some InfoServe customers, if you're not already. So feel free to jump into the 11 a.m. one. And if you are interested in that, then you can just go to infoserve.com/ support, infoserve.com/support. That's just for our customer webinar though. So let's focus in on the webinar here now for small business owners across the UK. And as you know already, we're the only Google, Bing, Facebook and Yahoo partner in the UK. We're the only one, and we work very closely with Facebook. And so Facebook owns Instagram, and that's where this will all start to play out. And if you want to one-to-one, if you want extra help, then please do go to infoserve.com/COVID. So if you want some more help from us, we can do that with you on a one-to-one basis. But without further ado, I'm going to hand it back to Sam, and Sam's going to go through how your business can use Instagram and all of the features, the cool features that you might not know about on Instagram, and he's going to walk you through that now. So I'm really excited for this one. I'm going to back away and watch it from afar. Go for it, Sam.
Cool. Right, I'm going to share my screen, so it all might go wrong right now. Do let me know if you can see everything.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Cool. And can we see this?
Yep, that's all good.
Right, so I can't even see anything now.
I know. It's a bit funny. Don't worry, I'll answer questions on the chat.
Cool. Yeah, please feel free to ask questions if I'm going too fast, too slow, whatever. I'm going to start at the very bottom and then kind of talk around things. So basically, we're going to talk about reach, engagement, stories, and hashtags on Instagram. If you are an Instagram user, you probably understand this. You might learn a few tidbits. If you've never used Instagram before or you've just gotten into it, this will be quite helpful for you, I think. So yeah, we'll go straight into it. Josh, obviously, if you think of any questions, please ask me as well.
Yeah, of course, definitely.
So basically, start at the bottom. Reach versus engagement. What is it? Now, reach is essentially how many times your post is seen. So obviously you post something and then I see it, that is, you've reached one person, one individual person. I could see it several times, so you've reached me 7 times. Really, really simple there. Engagement, however, is different. This is how often people interact with it. It can be clicks, it can be reactions, it can be comments, shares, watches over a certain amount of time, just watching it for a small amount of time, depending on what you're measuring, really. That is how engagement works. So think about it, you post X, Y, and Z, and then you get somebody like it, you get somebody comment on it, and you get somebody watch the whole thing. That is 3 full engagements for you. It's fairly simple. I hope you understand that. Simple as that. So moving on to reach on Instagram then. This is Reggie.
Good old Reginald.
Yes. Sorry.
Just that little pop-up, just that Chrome pop-up there. Says just sharing your screen.
Yeah. Cool.
There we go. Yeah.
And back.
Brilliant.
So this is Reggie, our CEO's dog. You may have heard from before. So how you post on Instagram is that button in the middle. Simple as that. That will open up your camera reel and show you what you can share on Instagram. I do this because I spoke to a lady last week and we had to go through from the very bottom. So I do just want to make sure you know how to do it. Once you post something, your reach will be the followers who can see the post. So if you just post this nice picture of Reggie, it will go to the people who are following you. If you didn't add any hashtags or anything else, that's who would see it.
Does it show to all of your followers, Sam?
No. So Instagram tends to. So here's a few different posts.
Yeah. Sorry if I'm jumping the gun there.
Oh, no, it's fine. So, Reggie, a lovely piece of pasta, Murgatroyd's there, giving a notice, and then Exodia UK. Typically, it shows to about 10 to 15% of your followers, which isn't a huge amount, obviously. So if you have 100 followers, it's going to show to 15 of them. The less followers you have, the more you do tend to get in terms of reach, but you're not getting the full kind of amount, really.
Yeah.
So what we do want to do is increase that reach. One of the ways that we can do that is through stories. Now, just in case we don't know, sharing to your story is the top left-hand button. I quite like this. So basically, you click there, and then your story is typically seen by more users than a post. And with stories, it can be photos, it can be videos. You can actively share a post on it, which I'll go into, or it can be live video as well. Now, live video is literally just walking around and talking, and it will broadcast direct. It's almost like you have your own TV station. I'm sure you've heard other people talk about Instagram Live before. It's the same thing, basically. It's just a different tab. If I do, that is a picture of my plant. If you press that button, that is what you see. Nobody wanted to see my kind of up view of my face when I pressed it, so I went with the plant. And then you can share posts, like I say there.
Perfect. So you've kind of spoken about, obviously, posts and your stories there.
Yeah.
You did a great example of actually putting a story of your posts.
Yes.
Because obviously we know for whatever Instagram, Facebook reasons, it only shows between 10 to 15%, which you mentioned. Which they changed. It was a lot higher than that.
It was, yeah.
But they kind of changed that. I mean, do we know the reasons why it's around that kind of figure?
Without being too cynical, it's so you buy advertising at the end of it. Obviously, the aim of Instagram and Facebook's algorithm is to make a user's use of the system itself better. So it wants to show you things that it thinks are relevant to you.
Yeah.
So if even if you are following X, Y, and Z, they might be on the outliers of your interests.
Yes.
So it basically will decide that this is your core interest. It wants to show you more of this.
Yeah.
So it will just consistently show you that kind of thing.
It will naturally show you what you interact with, won't it? Your engagement. It will prefer to show you who you actually engage with. I mean, personally, I follow about over 2,500 people on Instagram alone.
Right.
Obviously, if all of those 2,500 people were to do a post, that's 2,500 posts I'd have to look at in a day. Hence why they limit the amount of people that they actually show you to, because you might not be engaged, you might not show. And again, that's a hell of a lot of people to follow and keep on track of. Whereas with a story's quite different, isn't it, Sam?
Yeah, it's like a flash in the pan, basically. So with my personal Instagram, and particularly the Instagram of InfoServe as well, we kind of curate the feed. So we make sure that on our feed, we're telling important things. So, this we thought was quite important because we do want to stay indoors. Previously, it was when we launched the small business support team. So we got that on there as well. But the stories themselves, as we will come to eventually, they are just silly day-to-day things. So there's one of Graham pretending to be a robot, and there's a lot of Reggie, and there's a lot of kind of when other dogs and things come in. It's just kind of almost like a diary of what you're doing versus kind of other things as well. Yeah. So you fill in the blanks with your story, but to use that old adage of, social media is showing the best of you, your feed should really be the best of you and what you want people to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, as we've discovered there, you're not going to get a lot of reach if you just posting to the people who follow you. So what we need to do is figure out how to increase reach on Instagram. And there are three main ways to do this. Hashtags are the main one. Tagging other users, and then the discovery tab, which they're very easy to do, and they're very easy to get on top of once you know what you're doing. Really, it's just learning kind of what you are doing. So kind of moving on. So
Jen's answer question is: are stories just shown to your followers?
Yes and no. So the majority of the people who are going to pick up your story are the followers. However, you can increase that reach, and we will go into that. And it is, again, through hashtags and tagging other people through it. But again, it's a simple formula once we know what we're doing, but it's figuring out what you're doing. So lots of people know the word hashtag. It's a well-used term now. But what are they? The definition by Facebook's term and Instagram's term is words or multi-word phrases that categorize content and track topics. So basically what a hashtag is, say you post a picture of a dog, you can hashtag dog. That will put it into a pot of other kind of pictures and videos that also have the hashtag of dog into it. So when I am interested in hashtag dog, I can go to that hashtag and I can find the content that I'm looking for. It basically just indexes it, pretend it's a library and the Dewey Decimal System. But I mean, I think it is, people get worried about hashtags and they don't know how to use them and things like that. But literally all you're doing is indexing what you've put in there. So don't use an irrelevant hashtag just because you think it'll go very far, which again, we'll talk about. Make sure it is relevant. And I'm going to keep saying this. And if I forget, please make me. But everything that you do on Instagram has to be relevant to your brand and relevant to the content that you're posting, because otherwise it will shoot you down. Instagram is big on making sure that the user's journey and the user's kind of use of the app itself is relevant, because that's what it wants.
Jen's also asked a really good question of, do hashtags work / used on other social media platforms? So in terms of do hashtags work, for instance, you can actually follow hashtags on Instagram, can't you, Sam?
You can, and again, we're jumping the gun there, Jen.
Yeah, sorry.
So in terms of Instagram is the best place that you can use hashtags to increase your business. Instagram's algorithm is powered by hashtags, basically. So they're very useful to use on Instagram. The next best place to use them is Twitter. But the reason I said that Instagram is the best place for your business is because Twitter is very low in terms of actually making a return from it. I think it was the top 40% of tweets that were interacted with last year are to do with politics. So people aren't using them to interact with businesses anymore. I certainly look at Trump and I complain via Twitter. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. Any kind of customer service kind of issues or anything like that, it's good to, again, Twitter's not really used for that. I'm sure you've got a statistic of how many people follow a brand on Instagram.
Oh, it's well into the 60s and 70% now. And I can't pull it out of the back of my head without.
No, yeah, I think. Yeah. No, I think I read it was around about 75% of people of users on Instagram actually follow a brand, which is incredible. I follow a lot of brands personally myself. Kind of talking about hashtags. I'm looking at buying a house. I'm looking at getting a house eventually. I need to move out and get a house, get on the property ladder. Me and my girlfriend are looking together. But one thing that I've started to do is I follow hashtags like kitchen redesign or extensions. And I know that sounds really kind of sad and weird, but I know when I'm looking at kind of getting a house, we'll probably need a new kitchen, we'll probably get an extension. And just because of that hashtag, I follow loads of businesses that specialize in home renovations just to get ideas. Me and Amy really like to look at kind of house designs and what they look like. And I like looking at that on my feed, on my Instagram feed. It's something I interact with. My explore section is just basically builders showing off the work that they've done. But that's me following brands and finding out about businesses in this local area who do extensions. And I'm not even in the market to buy yet, but I will be later on down the line. And that's a perfect example of how people use Instagram. But
it's a great point. And it's always nice to bring it back to the SMB and the small business kind of mindset. So at the end of the day, everybody wants to be famous, don't they? So you can talk about that till the cows come home, but at the end we are now talking about kind of marketing your small business. So it's those types of hashtags that are kind of the best way to do that. And just to point out this, so there are loads of different hashtags, obviously. There are hashtags with huge usages, so Instagood. It quickly moves on. So if you post something with hashtag Instagood on it, basically you will be seen by a lot of people for a small amount of time.
Yeah.
And obviously Instagood isn't particularly niche. So your content isn't likely to engage with that with the people who are following that hashtag, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, 100 people will see it in a second, but you are selling flowers. So they're not searching for flowers per se. They're just seeing Instagood and say, oh, it's very nice. And it's gone. Whereas a niche hashtag like Harrogate Business, there are less people seeing it. So you'll stay in that hashtag for longer. And also the people who do see it through that hashtag will be more relevant to your business because they are following Harrogate Business. So they are likely to be in Harrogate and looking for a business. So I'm going to kind of put that down to reach versus niche.
Yeah,
because it sits well in my mind.
that's a perfect way of describing it. I've just Instagram's really good at telling you how many posts there are for hashtags as well.
Just to show you this,
perfect.
So Harrogate Business here has 1,000 posts.
Yeah.
Sorry, I haven't designed this very well.
Oh no! Sorry, I keep jumping. You carry. Sorry.
But yeah, so Harrogate Business has 1,000 posts. So if you hashtag Harrogate Business, you're going to sit in and amongst 1,000 posts there. If you hashtag Instagood, and I think it was the slide before this, so it's not going to show up. It's got 1.1 billion posts.
Yeah.
Which does show the big differences between it. It's well worth investigating your business, investigating your users, and figuring out the correct niches and the correct hashtags that you want to fall into, not just going for those big ones, which it really is going to help your reach and help you reach relevant people. And again, I'm going to say relevant again.
Sam, sorry to interrupt, Sam. Oh, my video's frozen. But just a quick question from Jen, a really good one. How do you find out how many people are following a hashtag?
So if you go on to the search tab, which is the second one along there at the bottom, and just search for the hashtag that you want to find, it will pop up at the top and you can click it and then you get this screen here. Can you see the screen, Matt?
Yeah, the follow button.
Yeah. And then it will just give you this. So if I click again, look, vegan brunch is something that I follow. I'm vegan. I really like brunch. It's got 212,000 followers there.
So you can search the hashtag on the main Instagram feed. You can go ahead and search that hashtag and filter it by hashtags and then see how many people are following that.
Also, it will give you related hashtags as well. So there you go, vegan food lovers, plant-based foods. So then you can start to figure out your niche hashtags that way as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not going to show you irrelevant hashtags to that hashtag.
So we've had
Sam, do that's a really good one, the hashtag and the local hashtags that people use. So for example, you're mentioning Harrogate there. I know that a popular one in Harrogate is hashtag Harrogate Indies and Harrogate Small Business. And so if you're a business in a town or city or even a village, there'll be people using a hashtag in your local area. So what you need to do is find out what the hashtag is and then start using that on your posts.
Yeah, basically. And again, it supports 30 hashtags per post. Research has shown that it will drop out in terms of reach at about 11. I always feel that if somebody is using more than 20, it looks a bit kind of like you're clawing for people to see you. So depending on how you feel about your brand, between 10 and 20 tends to work out, but you can do the full 30 if you really want to.
That's a really, really good tip that Sam's just shared with you there. Again, you can put 30 on there, but the sweet spot is around 11, as Sam has said. We've had some really good questions kind of come in, Sam. Phil asked, do people follow hashtags or people? Well, obviously, you can follow both. So you follow people, you can follow brands, and you can follow hashtags. In this case, which Sam has shown, he's click on the search bit on the bottom. You've got a little search next to the home icon. You've got a search icon there, and that's your explore tab. That's where you can find new people and you can follow people and all that kind of stuff. And Sam's just typed into here vegan brunch. and he's had a look at the hashtag vegan brunch, and it gives you the option to follow that hashtag on the screen. We've also got some other good questions. How do you find out, where's that gone? How do you find out how many people are following a hashtag? Yeah, as we said, how do you find out how many people are following a hashtag?
So once you've searched for the hashtag, it will give you this page here. Once you've clicked on it, and just at the top there, you can see how many people have posted into it. So they tend to be following the hashtag.
Yeah.
It will not give you exactly how many followers they have. I don't know if you've noticed recently. If you are posting on Instagram, it now won't even give you how many likes your posters have.
No.
You have to go in and actively look for it. This is all to do with mental health awareness and ensuring that particularly teenagers aren't being bullied because of numbers of likes and follows and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas obviously, yeah, you can see with a user how many people are following them. It doesn't work quite the same with a hashtag.
Yeah, perfect. So Haj has asked, when you do hashtag, will it automatically go into a followed hashtag? So when you hashtag, that's you trying to get found on the Explore tab. When people are looking at hashtags and kind of looking at businesses, it's up to the user whether they want to follow that hashtag. For instance, in my case, I had a look at kind of kitchen extensions and ideas, home ideas and stuff, and I followed those hashtags because I know anyone that's going to hashtag that will probably come up with new businesses and people. There's a lot of kind of home, there's dedicated pages on Instagram that show off homes and stuff like that, and that's the kind of stuff that I'm interested, because I'm looking at kind of getting a house after I finished my lawn here. Leo, I saw that comment that made me laugh, but yeah, that's how that kind of works.
So that is kind of hashtags 101. There's a bit more in terms of kind of hacking the algorithm, but we will do that at a later date. I just want to cover generally how you get reach with your posts first. So moving on, the next way to do it is tag other users. So I'm sure if you have used it before, you can tag multiple other users in your posts. So basically, once you post that post with a user tagged, they are alerted to the post being posted. That is a lot of the use of the word post. But if you're an Instagram user, if you've ever even interacted with it before, I'm sure you've seen that other people are collaborating on a post. So it will go under the tab on their profile. Let me just do this. So here on a profile, so this is InfoServe's profile. On the right hand side there is the tagged tab over the posted tab. So once you've done it, they will be alerted and it will drop into here. They can also then share that post to their story, which will increase the reach of your post, as we did touch on earlier. And then it will also kind of alert their followers to your post. They can then click on it, land on your post, the original post, not their post, and then you've kind of increased another circle of reach. Sorry, I know that was fairly convoluted there. Josh, any ways to kind of dumb that down a bit for me?
Again, tagging users as you kind of go through, you've got you can see on individual profiles, you can see what photos someone has been tagged in.
Thank you.
So in my case, in my personal case, I've got my feed, my personal Instagram feed, and then my followers can click on photos that I've been tagged in. So I might have been, obviously not during this situation, but before we were in lockdown, I might have been at a barbecue, for instance, and I might not have uploaded that photo, but I'd get tagged into it by a friend. So Sam, if I'm at your house, we're having a nice barbecue, hopefully when all this is blown over, and then Sam might take a photo of us both and then tag me in it. On my profile page, it will show in the tagged option, which Sam is showing here.
Thank you. That was really succinct, given my garble. But yeah, just to kind of go into it, as you can see there, InfoServe Limited is tagged in this post. It's just behind the arrow there. But yeah, InfoServe Marta was one of our digital marketing consultants. She has her own Instagram related to this, and she's tagged us in it, so she can increase her reach that way. And then Instagram supports up to 20 users tagged in a post. Now with this, there is no kind of cutoff point in terms of reach, because it is going to alert every single one of those people. So as long as, again, it is relevant to the post, there's no reason to not use 20 if you can. Just to show you, here is one that I was tagged in along with 20 other people. My Instagram username is to do with Jurassic Park, so somebody tagged me in a picture of Blue from Jurassic Park. But yeah, so as you can see, 20 people were tagged in that, and it does work that way.
Yeah.
But it's a good way to collaborate with other people in your industry. It's a good way to collaborate with influencers, if you do have influencers. Other businesses, particularly in the kind of post-COVID age that we're living in now. Lots of small businesses are banding together. In fact, today, there's a brewery just down the road from me in Horsforth. They've partnered with a bagel shop, and they're delivering beer and bagels. So I got bagels. And my partner got beer. I don't drink, so I wanted something when she ordered beer. But yeah, it's a good way, and particularly in the collabing, as it's called, it's a big deal. So if you can kind of do that, you've got your sphere of influence, they've got their sphere of influence, and it just smashes together.
Yes, exactly.
So 6 degrees of separation kind of thing.
Yeah, perfect. We've had a couple of questions around, does a hashtag belong to either the creator of that hashtag or a specific person? No,
so the hashtag is public domain, basically. Somebody can claim to have invented the hashtag. I'm sure Disney... Oh, in fact, this is a good one. So May the 4th be with you. Obviously, Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
Has been used for years and years and years and years on May the 4th.
That's coming soon.
It is. Disney yesterday said, share your Star Wars related stuff with hashtag May the 4th be with you. They followed that up with a tweet that said, if you reply to this tweet, you are giving us permission to use any of your images, that kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah, people then got very annoyed, obviously, because they asked you to waive your rights to your own images with a tweet. What they weren't saying is, if you use this hashtag, we can use your stuff. What they were saying is, if you respond to this tweet, we can use your stuff, which shows that a hashtag doesn't actively belong to anyone.
Exactly. On the flip side to that, so with InfoServe, for instance, we could use the hashtag small business support. Now, that is exclusive in terms of the campaign. We have an InfoServe campaign, which we're all here, small business support. We can then use that. I'm sure you've seen it. A lot of TV programs do it as well. Like the Great British Bake Off, their hashtag is GBBO.
Yes.
Anyone can use that hashtag. They don't own that hashtag, but anyone that then puts a photo or a video with that hashtag on, if anyone's following the hashtag GBBO, it will come up on their feed.
Yeah.
Phil's asked a really good question, and Leo has as well. So I'm gonna say Leo's question first. So if you are being referred to by someone else, does your hashtag have to be your username?
Sorry. So if someone's referring to you, they will be referring to you with an @ So your Instagram user is @ so Leo the photographer, I guess. That would how somebody refers to you. A hashtag is something different. That is where you're indexing your images or your videos in relation to the content that it is.
Exactly. Yeah, perfect. So Phil asked, did you say that I can tag or use their main local hashtag, a local supplier of another type of goods, to see if my post will go to their followers and therefore get exposure locally of my services? So I think what Phil's saying there is, if I tag in another business, will that go on to kind of their feed?
Yes, it will. So say if you're Phil's bakery and you tag in another bakery, it will jump onto their feed. However, what they could have done is closed off their tagged tab and actually have to say yes to anything that they're tabbed with.
Yes.
So bigger influencers and bigger brands will close that off, so you can't actually do that to them. However, if you are a smaller business, you might be lucky and you might be able to jump onto it that way.
Yeah.
Sam, do you mind if I think my video's frozen, so ignore that. But do you mind if I pick up a question? I don't know if you managed to show exactly how to search for hashtags, where the hashtag search is. I've got something on my screen I can share really quickly, if that helps.
Sure. Yeah, if you can.
Just really quickly, guys. Just if you go and have a look at this screen here, I don't know if you can see that. Okay.
Let me just.
Is that okay? Sam?
I can see you.
Oh yeah, no, I can see you sharing. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just sharing a screen. Just have a look left to right for everyone that just really on that point about searching for hashtags. When you're on your Instagram profile, which is the one on the left here, for example, or any page on Instagram, just the button there where it's got the search icon. If you just click on that icon, then you're taken through to the search page. This is basically the search main Instagram feed page, and it's within there that you can then search for tags. Am I right with that one, Sam?
Yeah. So basically, if you search in there, it will come up with everything relating to it in top. If you're then specifically looking for a hashtag, click on tags, and it will just give you a list of the related hashtags to the word that you searched.
Yeah, that's it. So that's how you can go through and do it on the actual phone there. So yeah, sorry, I'll let you go back to
it's really useful, Matt. What we need next is to be able to share a phone, I think.
Yes.
That would be super useful.
I've just been trying to do that on her.
Yeah. So back to my screen share then. Keynote. So yeah, tagging users is much easier than kind of the worry about hashtags and things like that. So yes, you can tag in suppliers. Yes, you can tag in other businesses in the local area. You can tag in city councils, that kind of thing. It will all increase reach and spheres of influence. However, I go back to it, keep it relevant to you. If you're tagging in Ben Affleck because you think he'll have a big sphere of influence, when in fact you sell bread, it will really kind of downgrade that quality score of the post itself. And also be aware as well, if you are tagging in bigger celebrities and things like that, ensure that it's verified and that it is actually them, because obviously there's lots of people on the social channels pretending to be other people. So I don't have an image on it here, unfortunately, but I'm sure Matt will pull one up for me and then show it in a second. But a verified user has a blue tick next to them. So we'll move on and then Matt can show us that in a second. But yeah, so that's tagging users. And then the other thing is the Discover tab. Now you called it Explore. It used to be called Explore. It's now called the Discover tab. What this does is it curates posts from accounts that you don't know, but you might be interested in based on the hashtags and the people that you follow. So let me just click this. Hopefully I'll get there. So this is Instagram's Discover page. It's the search button, basically. We follow a lot of businesses. We follow a lot of marketing agencies, and we follow a lot of small businesses. So you can see we like cake, makeup, and kind of positivity posts, basically. These are people that we don't actively follow, but the Instagram algorithm thinks that we might be interested in. So the ideal for growing your Instagram audience is to get onto the Discover tab. It's not impossible as a small business, but it does require a lot of work because it's about creating engaging content. And there's no magic formula for that, unfortunately. What we can do to really help push you to there, the top thing really is engage with your followers. So if somebody is actively liking and posting a comment, make sure that you're returning with with a thank you, or if they've asked a question, make sure you're answering the question. The response badge on Facebook, if you're responding to messages, similar to that, but make sure that you're doing it on Instagram as well. Add a location to posts. Now, this is quite a new thing that the algorithm has started noticing. So if you're based in Leeds, you're a Leeds business, you're using hashtag Leeds. If you tag yourself in Leeds, that will increase kind of your sphere of influence within Leeds and land you in Leeds related discover pages, basically. I know I just said Leeds a million times there. But it really does help. I hadn't realized it was quite so powerful until I did a bit of research on it recently.
Yeah, we have had a good question from Phil. So Phil's asked, is it okay to tag a non-relevant local business just to get locally found? So tag a baker's when he's a computer support business, or will he be penalised?
The first time you probably won't be penalised, but if you continue to do it, it will really kind of decrease your reach. And there's something called shadow banning on Instagram as well, which I haven't made a slide for, but what that does is basically pretend that you are still operating, but it will give you zero reach elsewhere outside of your followers, which isn't good because obviously there is no way for you to grow that way.
Yeah, you need interaction between both, don't you?
Yeah.
So if you were to kind of, obviously people and have friends that might not have a relatable business to yours, as long as you're interacting with each other, then you won't get shadow banned, will you? So it's not a case of don't ever tag anyone else that isn't relevant to your business, because of course, yes, you need to, especially when you have friends and peers that want to support your business. As long as there's both ways, as long as you're not just tagging this business over and over again and they never respond or they never reply, that's when in extreme cases that can happen, can't it, Sam?
Yeah, definitely. And again, just to touch with shadow banning and hashtags as well, make sure you're using relevant hashtags that are actually working. So there are such things as broken hashtags, and what that is basically, it's something that Instagram has either noticed is doing too well, or can kind of curate lots of irrelevant content, or is a little bit kind of risque. Obviously, Instagram has a lot of different rules on what you can and can't post, and it will basically just make sure that hashtag doesn't work anymore. The more, if you are caught using broken hashtags, you are much more likely to be shadow banned.
So how can you, as a small business owner, how do you know if that's a broken hashtag?
So if you're using relevant hashtags, it shouldn't be broken. However, if you do notice kind of a hashtag that you usually use is no longer working, so you'll notice that your reach is lower, and your interaction is lower based on your post. And then you can actually go and click on all the different hashtags and figure it out. This tends to happen when hashtags are spammed as well. So obviously there's loads of different software out there that will give you the hashtags that you need to be using. A lot of the hashtags in those are broken. Yeah. Just because they've been used over and over and over again. Yeah. So again, don't worry too much about it, but also be vigilant as well.
I've got some good questions coming in as well. Andrew asked, can you stop people, competitors, from seeing your posts?
You can block people from your stories. You can create yourself a private profile, which doesn't particularly work if you're a business, because people would then have to ask to join.
And that naturally puts people off from asking to join, doesn't it? Especially when you're a business.
Yeah. I mean, if you're kind of an influencer and you have a private profile, it could almost encourage people to follow you because they want to know what you've been posting. But as a business, I mean, I would not recommend having a private profile.
Yeah, definitely. Jen's asked, how do you know if you have been shadow banned?
You will just notice, it's happened to me a few times actually. You basically notice the likes coming in on a post and they're all followers of yours. You're not getting anyone who isn't following you.
Especially when using hashtags and tagging.
Yeah, basically. And if you're using a business profile and you can see the insights, you will be able to see that they're dropping off as well. So moving on from that, post at the right time. Now, this is a big one. This is more about figuring out when your users are active and when Instagram's users are active. And you can, again, see that via the Insights tab. Just as a general overview, the best times to post on Instagram as a business between, I guess it's changed a bit now that we are all working from home and not allowed to go outside. But pre-COVID-19, between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. when people are laying in bed staring at their phones, between 10 and 11 when people have gotten bored of work, 12 till 2 at lunchtime, people are scrolling, and then 3 till 5 tend to be the best times. Use that as a kind of a generalization and have a look at your insights, because it will show you when your users are active as well. Include a call to action in your posts. Now, this goes back to what we were talking about with the Facebook ads last week. Once you've got your nice picture and you've got the caption about it, you can just ask at the end, what do you think? Has anybody ever done this before? Those kind of questions will just increase your reach. It's a well-known way to do it, but it's never really stopped working. So always get that in there if you can. And again, coming back to the word relevant, if your hashtags, if your post, if the location that you put out there is all relevant to the brand that you are producing, then you are really going to go far in terms of engaging and getting your content out there and increasing your reach. Because, so you're a baker, you post a post with hashtag real bread, hashtag Harrogate Indie, hashtag Harrogate Business, tag it as Harrogate because that's where your bakery is. You're going to get your current users who already follow you liking it because they like the bread, because they're following you for that content. You're going to get people who are following the hashtag real bread liking it because you posted a picture of bread and they're following the hashtag real bread. You're going to get people who are following Harrogate Indie who like it because they like small businesses in Harrogate. And you're going to get people who are in and around Harrogate finding it on the Discover tab because they're based in Harrogate and they like small businesses as well. And that is kind of the full picture of how to increase your followers and how to increase your reach on Instagram.
Yeah.
I know it sounded really easy there, and it's not, and it's hard work. But it does all hark back to kind of those 3 or 4 things, really. You just have to keep at it and keep at it. I said to a customer the other day, just keep screaming into the void until somebody listens. At the end of the day, and it really is that, sadly. But yeah, moving on. This is my Discover tab, just to show you that they are very different. I follow a lot of tattoo things, I follow a lot of alien things, and I follow a lot of Pokemon related things. So it is really curated to the user itself.
Yeah. Brilliant. We've had a good question from Phil. Does a hashtag ever expire? E.g., a hashtag stops being relevant to something years ago, can be more relevant to something new, and should be used for the new thing. Another example could be the hashtag name could mean 2 things.
Yeah, it's a good point, actually.
Very good question.
Yeah, a hashtag 5 years ago for stay at home, say, could be, just I'm ill, I'm an introvert, so I don't like going out, the Paris riots, stay at home. That's what that could have meant at that time. Whereas now lots of people are using hashtag stay at home because we're stuck in the house. And half the world is stuck in the house. So that's what it means now. So they do evolve over time. But as an active user of Instagram, you will also be noticing that as well. So I wouldn't worry too much about them kind of changing, as long as you're aware of kind of the user base that you have.
So Rebecca's asked a good question. If a relevant hashtag doesn't exist, do you use 2 hashtags, i.e. photos slates and Banbury if there is no Banbury photo slates?
Well, you can make Banbury photo slates, and that can be your hashtag that you use.
Yeah.
So, and then if somebody is focusing on slates and Banbury photos and things like that, which you can also use alongside Banbury photo slates, and then they come across Banbury photo slates as a hashtag, all that is your content curated for them.
Yeah.
So it is well worth jumping on a hashtag if it isn't used.
Yeah.
As well as using already established ones.
Perfect. What about like lowercase and capitalization as well?
It's all lowercase. Don't worry about capitalization. I think as we move further into the 21st century, writing is going to become less and less relevant, sadly. But yeah, so post reach on stories works a little bit differently to main posts. So if you tag a user, they will be alerted to the story, and it will come up as a message rather than actually jumping into the curated tagged tab, basically. So with this one, another one of our digital consultants tagged us that we were having a quiz in our office, and it came up onto our message tab that we had been tagged in infoserve.lakeisha's story. I then shared it to our story on the 27th of September. So it was on our story, which increased her reach, and it also gave us some content to post as well. So that is how kind of that works, just as a backwards way around. Also, she doesn't hate quizzes. She loves a quiz. She's always asking for a quiz.
She is always asking for a quiz.
And then in terms of hashtags, so there's such a thing as a hashtag. Here you go. Working hard. I told you I was dressed as a robot in one of them. But so in this, working hard as a hashtag has its own story. Not a lot of people see stories for hashtags, unfortunately. It's just not how it works. So the reach is smaller than post hashtags. But it is always worthwhile. If I'm using a particularly big hashtag on a story, you do always find that somebody will pick them up. So it's worth using them. You can use more than one of these sticker hashtags if you want, but it can make the image look a bit cluttered. So I'd always stick with one.
Yeah. Brilliant.
My Mac needs charging. I've just noticed that. I'm just going to run and get my.
You go get your.
Cable.
I'll answer some questions.
Matt and Josh have a little chat.
Yeah, I've just seen that low battery icon there. So let's answer some questions on here. Andrew, when adding a location to a post, is it better to add my business name or the town or the county? So when adding a location, it depends on where you're wanting to get found for, really. If you're in, like, I would target kind of big cities. If you're near a kind of a big city, there's going to be more people around that kind of location. For instance, if you're in Leeds, for instance, then definitely tag the location as Leeds. Again, you can put your business name there as well. Let's see if Sam concurs. So Sam, we just had a question there from Andrew. When adding a location to a post, is it better to add his business name or the town or the county? Now, I said, obviously, if you're if your business in Leeds, then definitely tag Leeds because you're going to get a bigger reach. What would you say to like tagging business names as the location?
If your business comes up, so if you've got a good, well-established GMB, which obviously comes back to what you've been talking about the last couple of weeks, your business should actually appear. So you can tag. So again, I don't know why I'm coming back to bread today, but if you're a bakery in the center of Leeds and you've got a good GMB, it should come up as Jeff's Bakery, Swinegate, Leeds, and you can tag that, and that will tag it as Leeds, but also your business. So it's just an extra.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, perfect. Yeah. Well, that's the best of both worlds then, isn't it? And then you tag in your business and the location.
Yeah.
Paul had a good question. Would you advocate Instagram over, say, Twitter for a non-visual business like a management training company who would want to target HR and HSE managers who might belong to an older generation and are not on Instagram?
Very interesting question.
Yeah.
Now, with that, it's about finding kind of, so if you're training HR people,
Yeah.
are you seeing I don't know why I'm asking you, obviously you're not the business owner, but you might be seeing the average age of your users go down as you kind of more and more people get trained up. So it is worthwhile attacking this style as well as Twitter.
What about LinkedIn as well?
Now, LinkedIn, we are going to come to either tomorrow or next week.
We've got a session planned for LinkedIn tomorrow.
It's a whole new kettle of fish. But the best way to describe it is every single user on a social media channel is a potential user of your business. Obviously, they might be this far away from using your business, or they might be this close to using your business. But it's figuring out where they stand. And I think maintaining a presence on every single social channel is a good idea. It's just figuring out which is the best one for you and then focusing your time and effort onto it. As you might have noticed earlier, kind of on the images, we've only got 150 followers on Instagram. And it's because we don't get a huge amount of work from it as a digital agency. We focus mainly on LinkedIn because we do find that we get a lot of engagement from that way.
Yeah.
And that's why we focus on LinkedIn, but we know that people are interacting with us on other places too. So we maintain that to a smaller level, basically.
Perfect.
But yeah, just to point out the stay home, the curated Instagram hashtags for stories here.
Yeah.
When this was launched, it was the first thing that anybody saw when they logged onto Instagram.
It really was.
And everybody was putting into it. This is me cooking brunch tacos. As I said, I really like vegan brunch food.
That looks really nice.
It was good food. But yeah, stay home and cook. That would have appeared in the stay home story as well as my story, which increased my rate. So I probably got more people seeing this than kind of a normal story that I had posted. But yeah, so 3 things to take away and a picture of my dog just to make you remember. So use relevant hashtags to increase reach, because if you're not using relevant hashtags, you're just going to get shot down. Collaborate and tag users and consumers as well. So if they are actively using you a lot, you can interact with them. It does just show that you are a real business with a face, and it will really increase that engagement level. And also they'll be excited that you tag them in it, and they will share it on, and then you're just getting an even further sphere of influence. And I haven't really in fact, we did touch on it basically, but keep your feed curated. Use the stories to kind of post the day-to-day stuff. And that will, alongside everything else that we've said, really help you increase your kind of Instagram reach and engagement.
Brilliant.
And also, here's a picture of my head.
No, that's really good there, Sam. So I hope you've taken a lot of information there around Instagram. Phil, we're gonna be wrapping up soon because we're conscious we're running out of time. But Phil's asked a question on Instagram: do you have a homepage for your business, or is it only what you post that shows up? So obviously your profile on Instagram will show obviously all your posts. We haven't really talked about the link in the description, or you can write a description for your business profile. You can actually put a link in there, can't you, Sam?
Yes. So you basically have you can put a link to any website that you want there.
Yeah.
A lot of kind of active business users on Instagram will change that link, and then they'll say link in bio when they are putting posts or stories up.
Yeah.
And it keeps that kind of business relevant and active on it. But if you don't want to be that on it, you can just put your kind of website address, and then if people are scrolling through, they can click through and land on your website really easily.
Yeah, brilliant, perfect. Well, thank you very much, guys, for coming on to another webinar. Again, me and Sam have got a brilliant session planned for you tomorrow as well. We're going to have a deep dive into LinkedIn. We'll show you kind of what Sam's been doing with our personal, with our company LinkedIn as well. As Sam mentioned, LinkedIn is a whole different kettle of fish. So that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Again, please share this link, infoserve.com/COVID. With any small businesses. We are really wanting to help. We've still got lots of content to go. I can't believe we've been doing this 4 weeks and we've still got even more content that you guys are really learning about. And I'm glad to see that you guys are implementing these as well. I hope you've taken away at least a couple of things from this session. Thank you so much, Sam. This has been an absolute pleasure, and we really have learn a lot here. But yeah, thank you very much, guys. And yeah, we will. Oh, Matt's just mentioned there, I would love to know more about Instagram featured stories. So yeah, I think what we can do is kind of go more into the kind of the featured stories, the sponsored posts as well. That is a brilliant way to increase the reach, isn't it, Sam?
Well, yeah,
and engagement as well. So you've got your Instagram ads, which is your posts and your stories. We'll take a deep dive into that as well. Again, there's lots to cover. Thank you very much, guys. Yes, Fleur, all these sessions are recorded. You will get an automatic email sent to you for the YouTube link. The YouTube link has 25 videos now on there.
Wow.
Which is incredible. This will be 26, I believe. But yeah, thank you very much. And we will see you tomorrow at 2 p.m.
See you later.
Thank
Bye.
you, guys. Thank you, Sam.
Bye.